AKA Mr. Jackson, AKA new name coming soon.
New name coming soon.
Along with my co-host,
Tariq Abdul-Tawwab. That's my name today. You know, when your sleep challenges you a little bit, you Mr. Coffee for the day.
Mr. Coffee. Well, Mr. Tata, walk off. Put the coffee in his hand. Well, welcome back to Make Sense Jackson on this fine Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. It should be Wednesday. That's it too.
It should be.
Welcome back to this fine Wednesday, or should I say this hot Wednesday. I know they tell me it's like, what, 90, 92, 93 outside, but it feel like 105. I ain't gonna lie to you. But welcome back to Make Sense Jackson one more time. So I know I said it like 10 times, but I need y'all to hear me. I need y'all to hear to understand.
Lock in.
Yeah. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna always be here. Whether we on vacation or whatever, we gonna make it make sense everywhere. But like always, how we start the show off, we hope that you've done something productive today. If you have not, please go out and do something productive today. And like how we always start the show off, to the ones that didn't make it or is no longer here with us, we like a moment of silence for y'all. All right. Like always, we got some information. We're going to start this thing all right.
I like that productivity part, man. I got to remember, I like that productivity part. We used to do that early on. If you remember, we used to get productive. When we started the show over a year and a half ago, when we introduced that, every day we would tell people, I hope you did at least one thing productive. Oh, yeah. Because at the beginning of our show, you remember, we were just little inch by inch. We were just trying to do something productive every day. So it brings back memories when you say that now. I just hope everybody did something productive. And I think even more now, because this has been a community effort. You know, we diving right into Jackson, Mississippi state of emergency. We've got heavy items because we've got some heavy things happening in our city. These data centers are the old okey-doke, rope-a-dope is what my father and the elders used to call it. When Muhammad Ali would lean back on a rope, let you hit him for 7, 8 rounds and then knock you out because you were too tired to fight anymore, not because he was more powerful than you necessarily, right? And that's what Vernon Hartley, the president of the city council, Kevin Parkinson, LaShia Brown Thomas, Ashby Foot, well, I don't think Ashby's doing a rope-a-dope, he's trying to Mike Tyson us. But that's what all of them are doing now, where they left a 30-day window open. And these are all things I've seen. This is getting exhausting now. Yeah. Because
that's the whole plan.
Yeah, these are 5 black. And all of them claim to be black. And I mean that in a different way. And one of them is acting like she comes from the black community, and the other 4 are acting like they have no clue of what happens in black communities when technology, data centers, cancer, toxins in water, when these concerns in the past have come, our communities have always overwhelmingly paid the price.
Yep.
And for them, these leaders, Bishop Crudup, Mayor Horn, who's led the whole way, and Mayor Horn should always take the lead on this, because it is his folks that he brought into Jackson that have begun the damage. It was Gabriel Prater who first started to bring the power center in, and then followed up with a data center. Remember, you all, that he refused to share the whereabouts of. So to this day, we don't know where Mr. Prater was planning on putting his data center. And he came into Jackson, got access to us through being a part of Mayor Horn's transitional team, entrepreneurial transitional team.
Yes.
Sexum, the company trying to set up a data center on Forest Avenue, their lead attorney, Robert Island. And if you understand business, you understand in business your attorney is not simply someone that you told them in trouble and they come help. That's not what a business attorney is. That business attorney is the one you touch base with before that deal is ever inked and helps you negotiate everything through there, muddy waters and all, obstacles and all. And Robert Island was on Mayor Horn's housing task team, but recused himself and said, I can't help the residents at Blossom because I've got a conflict of interest. But he has no conflict of interest into telling Jackson, remember what he said at the meeting? My client, he wouldn't even tell us it was Sexum, but this man was on the housing task force. His moral and character was supposed to be one of such that he was put there to protect the people of Jackson from slumlords. And this man wouldn't even tell us where they were bringing the data center. These folks came in with Mayor Horn. And now the city council has said, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll with you, except for Tina Clay and Brian Grizel on paper.
And then after the fact, after the more rhetorical was put back on the table, you had Tina Clay being the only one that was speaking out about the 30-day window.
That's right. So they left the 30-day window. Thank you, young man. They left the 30-day window. And I just want our audience to understand, because when you think Mississippi, too many people are like, man, Tater Tot, man, and people call me, man. Some people reach out from other places. God dang, Tater. I'm like, yeah, God dang him. That's all right. Then you already know he's very clear with how he feels about Jackson and his racism and the fact that he won't even let bills to help Jackson come across his desk. So we know what type of evil that man follows as it pertains to black folk in Mississippi. However, I had to make them very aware, this is not tape. There's tape that's going to benefit from it and folks around him. Oh, he's happy with it because he came into town and expressed. Now remember, your governor came into Jackson. Vernon Hartley, you're a black man in Mississippi. Governor Tate came in and basically told the city, hey, listen, I think it's who's working with who? This is beyond plantation democracy. Governor Tate, a former Republican, came in and said, listen, this is a bad choice, city council, for you to put this on the shelf. You know what he was doing. He was warning you, if you want to play ball in this state. What did he say when the mother was in office? It's a bad day to be in Jackson. I need my boys in there. I need my boys in there for it's a good day to be in Jackson. He loved Jackson now. I need my boy. Man, lad, he wouldn't come to Jackson for 8 years almost. I've never seen a governor of a state stay away from a city he's supposed to run. And by de facto, by being the governor. He just cried, whined. This is why I call these black men that are supposed to be keeping us and protecting us jelly-backed Negroes. Tate comes in here happily, kisses the mayor's wife. Come here. Mwah.
It's funny considering what he said yesterday.
You should have known when I told y'all then.
What did he say yesterday?
Go ahead.
I said, it's funny considering what he said yesterday.
What did he say?
He said if you wanted a friend in politics, get a dog.
Woo, that's what Tate said. You know, remember John Horn said, I thought they were my friends. Tate copied after, who said that? One of the greats said that. I do that with air quotes. If you want a friend in politics, get a dog, Johnny boy. That's not what we're here for. Maybe you didn't understand the history of Mississippi because you were acting, you were on stage in plays, and your daddy had, these are truthful things. Don't get bothered at truth. Your daddy had enough pull so that you didn't have to live in this reality, and that's the nicest thing I can say to you because everything else means the root of your family tree is evil. So I've got to move away from that since there's so much greatness here. We're going to keep chopping at this tree till it falls. And it's either going to fall on the family that's protecting, or it's going to fall backwards on the people. Either way, it's going to fall. Because who raised you? No, you can't have just a demonic young man out there at 16. That's what you call him. Let him shoot let him, God forbid, shoot a child. And we watched this, right? One woman called up and said he doesn't deserve to live. They should kill some of these babies. Well, what should you do with John Horn then? Watch how it gets so, I'm sorry, 601-948-5950. Doesn't seem to get as harsh when it comes to the adults.
You know, you said when a tree falls, to relay off of that, it was a quote in the book. It said, a tree falls where it leads. And wherever the tree falls where it leads, everybody goes with it.
Everybody goes with it.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody he brought with him is going to be
That's right.
too.
And I think you got to understand, a young man, the beauty of this tree we've been chopping away here as a community, you all. As it's fallen, you've heard it creak. You watched it weaken. You watched all of the apparatus that generally protect it fall from around it. You watched the king start screaming for his guards. And I'm being honest, you're sitting in the middle of this. You watched the king, and John Horn is technically in that position in the mayor. He started a year ago calling you all fickle and uneducated. We got you, John. That's what you think of our people? Okay. Me and the young man, we good. Half the time people thought we were doing something different and didn't realize that we coming because of what you're saying to the people over and over again. We see Northside Sun moving for you, and we know that something's up. Previous mayor leaves, you all think it's over. We right there like, no, something's up. There's some smoke. Look under them leaves.
I wonder what would happen if a black-led newspaper had told Democrats to vote in the Republican Party. I guarantee it would have been some type of
They put him in court.
election. You know what I'm saying? Fraud.
Yeah.
That's election fraud, voter fraud. That
would have been considered. It would have been absolute. But see, you started seeing that, right? Remember when then you saw the churches filling out? And then you saw just so. Now the king is yelling for his guards. Help! Someone jump in front of them. Help! Everywhere we go. Why are you so hard on John? Well, that's not one person. I know you all may think of a clip. That is 6 to 7 people have come at us with that question. Famous. Listen, we used to be this is how bad it is to stay up in this. We used to be with you 5 days a week. 3 days we were here. 2 days we went with Socrates on there. Gabriel Prado pressed every businessman, including Socrates, that he could and said, can you get them to shut up? We ain't got time to be around that. We built our own platform, and now there's enough of y'all that we got somewhere for y'all to come home to outside of 90.1 and outside of We Believe Digital. And we love both of the ideas and the people, but we can't be somewhere where Gabriel Prado feel like you got the courage to reach out to where we are to a black man and say, ask that black man to shut up. You don't have them ends in this casa, buddy. He don't have the ends in this casa. You misspoke. Nobody has the ends to tell us to be quiet. And a lot of men with a lot more power than Socrates you have been called and said, can you ask them to be quiet? We didn't get removed from the station, so big ups for not being removed, but we don't want to be nowhere near where anyone of his nature feel that you can lean on us through Socrates, through a business. You done lost your mind, Gabriel Prado. You have lost your rabid mind.
We ain't going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. You thought you could reach out there and lean on? Boy, we got 5,000 folks, core folks, up to 50 that listen when we post things because we're going to stick with this truth. But this is what we walk through. When that tree falls, it's going to fall with everyone with it. Prado, Surinder Singh, who said a black man's life is worth a six-pack of beer, William Herring, all of these folks that are on this team that have done nothing for the city of Jackson. And you're supposed to be a Democrat leader, but you got the governor who has said, I won't let them black people get a penny. Starved us of school lunches for our children, of free lunches, just to prove a point. Said the airport won't get a penny as long as you got a lawsuit against me. Said, Jackson, the people will not get a penny across my desk, and he kissing your wife, Mr. Horn. You got to tell me what y'all been doing behind closed doors together. And I'm not talking about anything like that. But I have a wife, and if you kiss my wife when you see her, we've been voting together probably. No, vote. We've been playing basketball. You've been in my house for sure. You kissing my wife, you've been on the cheek I'm talking about here, guys. I'm not talking anything illicit. But if you give my wife a kiss on the cheek, you either from England or you from a Arab country or you've been in the house before, buddy.
You must have been in my.
Here you go. So we're talking Governor Tate. We're not talking a Republican. We're not talking about Nick Lott. Even though, you know, he represents people like Governor Tate. I mean, Haley Barbour, Bush, they're not different in their policy. So yeah, I think as we merge into talking about what the new president of the city council has ushered in, I think is very important to point out that we're dealing with plantation Democrats here in Jackson, Mississippi. And we're going to touch on that every show so you understand the definition of a plantation Democrat is a Democrat whose policies, collaborations, votes, and associations are with the far right Republican party. And then we put in there, even more damaging when that Democrat is African American. We posted it up online. This is not something we're shooting shots at. If you want to talk about a conservative, then we'll talk about a plantation Democrat, which will lead back to the straw ball, which will lead back to the plantation preacher. And that plantation preacher is the one they sent with the doctor when Planned Parenthood in the early 1900s started moving through the communities in Chicago and throughout the borderlines of Mississippi, begging black parents to kill their babies. That was who they sent. They sent a doctor that was black, because you couldn't have a white doctor around Negroes at that time. They sent a doctor, they sent the white person that owned that area to tell them it was okay to have this conversation, and they sent a preacher to tell them God said go on and do that. You may not want to deal with your history, but I do. So, you know, enough people have tried to get us out of here, but we're going to deal with that. Why did they send the preacher? We all know why they sent the preacher. Because the white supremacy has always used religious control through a people. That does not mean, we got Reverend Means that calls in here, boy. Let me tell you something. He's not on the control side. I'm the grandson of a preacher. We're not saying preachers are controlled. We're saying we know what the white supremacists used that preacher who traveled with Planned Parenthood for. And when Bishop Crudup trotted his butt right in front of city council and said, I was sent, and he ripped his shirt off and showed us the plantation brand on his arm. DJP right there. I'm from the downtown Jackson part of the plantation. And I used to be on the JRA plantation. Boy, don't mess with me because he's talking to black people now. That's what this is history. My grandfather taught me about this. And my grandfather said it differently. Some Negroes that are big around you, and they bow down and turn around him, and that's what gives them that right to be big around you. Because that's the promise when they bow for that white supremacist, is that they'll get to be a boss of the Negroes. There's some of us that come into Jackson to be the boss of the Negroes and run to Madison to give them everything they ask for. And Bishop Crudup certainly aligns with that theology. So when he prances in front of the city council and says, listen, and when I say this, you have to understand, the bishop made no mention of people's health, of concern, anything of his flock. Had he, I would say that as well. So if you're listening, I'm just not mentioning this part and omitting this part. This is everything the man said. He said, I'm from Jackson, lived here 30 years, and I'm a bishop. So God's with me. He didn't say that part, but I'm telling you what comes with that. So God's with me. You can check me if you want to. And that was the attitude he had. He said, I'm a bishop, and I started this church, New Horizon. And I want this to come because I'm for development, and I'm not trying to let Madison and Ridgeland, and I don't know what he got about Canton, maybe because they got black folk leading it, and I'm telling y'all, I'm touching on that for a reason. Why does he keep saying, definitely not Canton. Canton has black leaders, Madison doesn't, Ridgeland doesn't. What is it about other black people that bothers Bishop Crudup about them getting money more than the white folk getting money? That's backwards. We got to slow down on that. Remember back in our day, these be like, slow it down, I just dissed you. Like, you got to slow that down and bring it back. What black bishop, leader, has a bigger problem, I would think he would be like, let Ken get money, right? I mean, I can see if Ken's getting money because but you said Madison's getting all that money. Listen to his voice. He said Richard's getting all that money and Ken? You think I'm going to let Ken get money before me?
They the same money.
You're the king of the Negroes. That's called a straw boss, Jack. I'm trying to show you something. I'm not trying to call names. I swear on my mind, I don't do that. I'm trying to show you what's hurting our black community. That right there means I'm king of the Negroes. That's what I got paid for. That's why Bishop Crudup openly said, I take money from Democrats and Republicans. I don't care. Because I'm not here to be your friend. Like Tate said, go get a dog, black folk. That's the same approach Bishop Crudup brought to us. Yeah, I take money from both sides. But I'm not here to be your all's friend. I'm here to get mine. That's why when folks wondered, why did you get $250,000 for West Jackson, but West Jackson didn't see it? Why does every move you do only benefit you? Well, he never said anything otherwise. And I think he walked up and finalized that. And that's the John Horn effect, Mississippi, U.S. That's the John Horn effect. He gives the worst people the courage to do the worst things. And then anyone that understands the law gets the hell away from him. That's just what's happening here. But you're still letting him come to D.C. And we're going to start calling out y'all's names in D.C. soon. Because you're letting him come.
He going to Harvard next.
He going to Harvard next. I got some folks, nice stopping ground area. He going to Harvard next. There's definitely some African Americans in Harvard that want to talk to him. We should make sure of that. And that's just, when I say that, I mean talk for real. Lashia Brown Thomas, we know what y'all like to do. As soon as we call you out for something, you do, they're violent. I really mean talk. We protest. We come up with signs, right? Crudup, you should know that. Remember that sign you had that said, give them your water? When you was up there marching around with that him or Gibbs. It was marching with that sign.
No, that was Crudup.
That was Crudup. It was marching with the sign. It said, give them the water. And now that water is almost gone. And we stand to we have no control over that water at all. And this is the leadership. So mind you, we've talked so far about our mayor, Mayor Horn. We've talked about Bishop Crudup, who is now sitting on the airport board. We've talked about Vernon Hartley, who is the president of all of these people are black. Jefferson had one of the older brothers said he had to drop ever since he left Tougaloo, he was black. I love talking to our older people. He was being funny. He said he got to have a drop in him. God, now that I'm trying to say it right, I mess it up. You get that? That's crazy. Taverson, my man. So he said, I talked to about 3 or 4 older people. They were like, yeah, he was. I said, yeah, he's a black brother, da-da-da. Why doesn't he stand up strong? I was really asking that while he was there. I said, do you think that's why he left? And they were like, man, Taverson, he's been black since he left Tougaloo. And I said, no, man, the brother's black by death. He said, yeah, I mean, if you, a drop of blood is what makes you black in Mississippi, and then he conceived, then he's black. That's it. That's why I love being on people's platform. When 4 to 5 and then 7, 8 people say it, then that's a look. But they all got out of there. They all got out of there, right? And then we got to talk about it. We can't let it slide past us. Chief Brackman is sticking by, and we assume that at a certain point you just don't know enough, right? That assumption starts to wane at a certain point. That's all I'm saying. That assumption starts to wane because you're in the city. You got to be seeing what's going on. And this chief that was on the Black Lives Matter podcast is not the chief we're seeing so far. And that doesn't mean that's not the chief that's there. But what I was alluding to was more Grizel. We can't forget the way Grizel was pushed out. I'm talking Vincent Grizel. We can't forget the way he was pushed out. We can't forget that they searched for a chief with him sitting right there. We talked about this briefly on the show. I've said it before. We can't forget they searched for a chief with Vincent Grizel sitting right there. One of the most professional, one of the most capable men that sits within law enforcement in the nearby Jackson area at that time. They began a deep search for a police chief, and it confused people. Now, all we understood in terms of conflict that Vincent Grizel was not interested in giving control of the CCTV over Jackson over to Chip, to Capitol. Not Chip. What's the guy? Bo Lucky. Yeah. He did not want. We know that. We listened to it. We heard it back and forth. So I'm not asking if anyone confirmed he did or he didn't. I know that he wasn't excited about Capitol taking over because I could hear it. And next thing you know, John, he's pushed out of John's administration. And he said that. He said, I've been pushed out. Now, we're not assuming anything. He said, I've been pushed out. But when you look back and you pause, you look at Chief Wage, you look at Taverson, you look at Grizel, you say, well, why is it only the people that have had no prior charges of any impropriety or no one that even dislikes them generally that put up their hand and say, yeah, I can't deal with this. And even though he might have walked away, he walked away before they pushed him out. And Tyree would have been the one that would have had to do it. I don't see it in there. You can call us in here, 601-948-5950. Maybe you understand it better than I do. Sheriff Tyree would have been the one that would have had to fire him. We all going to have to start looking at this whole puzzle and stop being so afraid to make it home. Because making it home in 1 day and making it home in 10 days full of some type of disease up in your nostrils, now your children can't live. Some of us, especially adults, man, we got to get some courage. And stop thinking about that gimme that you keep getting and go in and get it for yourself. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. But we got to start looking at these pieces in place. Rather than put Vincent in, you paid Sheriff Tyree 2 paychecks? What the hell? Sometimes you can't even pretend no more, man. Go on and get us out of here. You paid Sheriff Tyree 2 paychecks. And Vincent Grizzell was sitting right there. I don't have time to talk about all this. And I feel like stuff deterres us because you treat us like we're stupid. But this is what John Horn meant when he said the black Jacksonians are fickle and uneducated. And we're not. We're just tricked and misinformed. But that's what he meant when he said that. Remember, he did not back off of that. He said, I ain't mean it in that way. How else do you mean it? I'm going to smack you. I didn't mean it like that. Sir, I think you try to get out of this butt whipping because you did mean it that way. But this is what was brought to us. Slow that down. Don't speed any of this up. California, jump on that like you look at everything else. Big up Seattle. Big up my brothers. DC. Jump on that. Go look up Vincent Grizzell if you need me to help you. Vincent. His brother Brian Grizzell is on the city council. Go look at his accolades. Go look at his history. And ask yourself, why would you pay a sheriff in Hinds County, and this is where that boy was just murdered, in a jail cell. And this ain't a knock at saying it's the sheriff's fault, but it's saying that you clearly got enough on your hands, and Hinds County has been had enough on their hands. The hell you gonna give him the job, and Hinds County ain't safe. And you got Vincent Grizzell sitting right there from a police family. This is Black Bloods. You know the show Blue Bloods? This family is essentially Black Bloods. And you pass over Vincent and give Sheriff Tyree, who's overwhelmed with Hinds County, but you always do that, don't you? Hinds County can be overwhelmed, but you'll pay their officers to sleep outside of churches with Jackson money. You'll pay them to sit in front of Kroger's even though that they'll call Jackson as soon as a crime occurs. Make that make sense.
Well, it make sense calling you there.
Yeah, I'm listening to y'all talk about, what's going on and the Vincent Grizzell thing. And, it's eerily similar to what happened to the Hinds County DA circumstance. Think about it like this. You're talking about what happened with Vincent Grizzell and how there was no black leadership to stand up and say, hey, this guy is qualified.
That's right.
We recommend him.
That's right.
His own brother didn't even do that. And then they went and paid somebody more than the mayor to do what he could have done. Just like in the district attorney situation. None of the black leaders, legislators, supervisors, judges, nothing, said, hey, here go a list of people we can recommend, black or white, that live in Hinds County to be our district attorney. Nobody said nothing. Tay did what he wanted. Just like nobody stood up and said, hey, this is who's qualified to be the Jackson police chief that's here. We don't necessarily need Tyree, but hey, if you got him here, look who we can pick from here. Nobody did that. And so it's like, where is the advocacy from the black leadership? It speaks to the quality of the black leadership. Like they're not out in front and discussing matters and having dialogue about things that are affecting and impacting the people. Like you just said, why did nobody suggest, hey, Tyree's a great guy, he probably can do it and all, but in jail still under receivership and they going in as one of the most dangerous, it might well be MDOC imparchment from word on the street. So why don't we let him focus on that and find somebody else? They didn't do that. They didn't even, the black leadership is so clout chasing and competitive to where it's like they don't even want to help one another move forward. And until that happens, a lot of these questions is going to still remain. What you think?
I think that's amazing, my brother. We appreciate you just for adding that in there. I'm going to keep talking about it, but I think, and you can stay with me. First off, let me just say this. It was a sister that jumps in, and every now and then folks jump in and say, well, why aren't you running for mayor? And I just look at you like you're stupid, and I love you. Did you just hear this young person? Why in the name of God would I want to run for mayor? Why in the name of God would I want to run for mayor? Let me just say that. But what this brother is saying, listen to it. He's saying that no black, and you could go all the way back to, but let's start where you started. No black leaders are standing up saying, anything, and Tate did what he wanted. It took a white-led newspaper to come out and say, hey, I don't think that's a constitutional pick in a district attorney. He don't even live in Jackson. So I'm going to take what you just said and one-up you. Not only did they not stand up and give any option, any choice, anybody, not Peter, come on, Peter Teverson, because thank you, I struggle. But they didn't offer him, they didn't offer Mumford. I could come up myself with some tops off the top. Mumford didn't step up and say, I mean, he wants to be the next DA. And in my mind, none of these people came forward, right? None of these people came forward, and everyone stayed silent, and then Tate did what he wanted. And then you took, Andy Gibson has said more about the dangers of data centers. And I can't even say this without laughing. Andy Gibson has been the most public voice in speaking out against the dangers of data centers on communities in Mississippi. Facts. It hurts me to say that. He might win the minority vote. Yeah, it hurts me to. But
he figured it out.
He figured it out. Well, they're not doing it. He figured out what you just said, brother. Well, you know what he said at home? He said, I'm going to read back what you just said because I typed verbatim. He said, well, where's the advocacy from the black leadership? Nowhere. Well, they speak to the quality of the black leadership, doesn't this? Check. Well, they're not out in front asking questions in a dialogue affecting the people. Check. Shit, I can just give them the minimal. Like that old president said, you can pick chickens.
But guess what? Come next year this time, they all gonna be at same ones. Gonna be asking, hey, vote for me, vote for me.
Yep. They're gonna be black again. They're gonna be black again.
Then on top of that, you see they've already redone the structuring of how they gonna fund that 8 months ago, there was so much rah-rah about it.
Yeah.
Now they done went on with, hey, this is what we gonna do, and ain't nobody said nothing.
Nope. Man, you're hitting, listen, and I'm going to take another call, but what you're hitting on the head, and I'll give you last word, is the fact that in 2026, the reason our ancestors' gains are not being realized is because some of their own children have stood in the way and realized we can make more individually than letting this trickle down to the people. They can go live in Madison rather than make Jackson look better.
I'm going to give you your show back, and I just want to say this to everybody. This is
you
why
can keep
voting
it.
and being educated on who you voting for matters. Be aware of the elections, but educate yourself on the decisions that these people are and are not making. Don't just let them come smile in your face and say, hey, I've been here, I fight for you. Because a lot of times we need problem solved. We don't need people fight.
Hey, look, we appreciate you more than you know, man. Keep calling and keep listening to us, okay?
Welcome back, Make Sense.
I'm going to hang up on somebody with it back to back.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air. Welcome to Make It Make Sense, sister.
Okay, yes. I was wondering, where is our Black Caucus? They stand up for certain things, and when we think they should be standing up, they somewhere hiding or sitting down. So where is the so-called Black Caucus that we are supposed to have representing Jackson?
That's a great question. Yes, ma'am.
Who is it? Who is it really representing Jackson in the Black Caucus? Whenever they stand up, they're considering who's going to vote for this, who's going to vote for that, or whatever. Here we need our blacks in control.
Yes, ma'am.
They should know that. But still, they want to be in control next year when it's time to vote.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. And if you think back to the ones you knew, my sister, and I say that respectfully, if you think back to the ones you knew, and we didn't want to say this out loud sometimes, when whether we're sitting in the pews, whether we're sitting in the community, some of these politicians, we knew when they were 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that they were selfish, and they thought that they were special and they were privileged, and we knew they didn't care about their communities. We just believed that because our ancestors bled for this, we believed that when they got in that position, they would do the right thing. It's time for us to push that faith to the side and lead back on what God spent so much time creating. Right, that brain inside of us, and start to remember which one of these aren't doing what they're doing. But we appreciate you more than you know, my sister.
Welcome to Make Sense, caller. On there.
Turn your radio down for us, caller.
Oh, man, look, I just want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm going to address the last two callers. To that young man who came in, who called in and basically stood on business, hey, brother, I don't know you from a can of paint, but please look in the mirror and give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah. Now, to that older sister who just got off the phone, ma'am, your church members, your clergy, they all dirty. Opinion now. It's straight up, ma'am.
It's not to usher nobody, huh?
On some political pimping and some dirty clergy. Until we hold these preachers accountable and make they tell us hold Running Crudup accountable, we don't need to listen to none of them.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's all it is when it comes to that. So we need to stop listening to these preachers and do exactly what the young brother said. Do some research. Do your own digging. We can do Facebook digging. We can do newspaper digging. Then we need to figure this out for
That's right.
ourselves. And then we're going to shift gears to this black caucus. Ma'am, you asking that question, I'm going to say it real plain. Hey, black bootleg, 100 black men, all the fraternities and sorority
Hang with the people.
organizations,
That's
all
right.
y'all asses just been put on notice. And I'm going to hang up and let you have your show back.
I appreciate it. Listen, this is the People's Platform. 435. What, Brother Marty showed me? Oh, he was trying to throw me out the game. Hold on a second, Marty. You know, I be watching him in the radio now. I was see, we was vibing, boy. We were rolling. He was like, show him that clock. Throw him off a little bit. Let him know. Listen, what did this man just said? This is your show tonight. I'm messing with my brothers in here. I'm messing with us. Listen, you notice the second brother said, I'm going to give you back your show. Please call in and take your show back. This ain't never been our show. This has been our show.
That's right.
And the moment you feel the need to talk, I don't need to talk. Remember that time we said, Tark, why you talk so much? And I introduced the show and I said, because these leaders don't say so little. Why are you so loud? Because they so quiet. Why are you so aggressive? Because they so dormant and just they sit there. Left the city hall and black men looked to the right while Ted Henderson said the whole city has a culture of not paying their bill. A city that's being robbed, looted, treated as a gold mine, has a culture of not paying their bill. And I watch every black leader in that room, from Mayor John Horn to Council President Vernon Hartley to Crudup to Gibbs. All of them looked to the right, even the young Gibbs, older Gibbs, and didn't say anything to defend them. I'm talking about the 100,000 black people in the city. Well, 130,000 people. He didn't say the black people. He said all of them. Finding all of them don't pay their bills. This is the courage that young man that called there. This is what he's talking about. Listen, when the young man called and you see us get excited, I keep telling you, when they say we are not our ancestors, they don't mean what you think they mean. It's not disrespectful. When we say they're not their ancestors, what they mean is they clearly understand their ancestors move obstacles out of the way for them to move forward. So when they sitting up there and 40 years of voting ain't got them nothing, they not stupid. They're like, time out. A black politician comes out during Black History Month and the first thing he talks about is either Dr. King or Obama. Today's young black person has had access to information for too long. Why are you talking about Dr. King? That was 65. Oh, well, Obama, that was 2000s. What about the war on drugs? What about the super predator law? What about all these things? What about redlining? You should have voted. You didn't vote. That's what we get back from them. That's Hattiesburg again. I wanted to catch him.
Well, that makes sense. Call you on there.
Hey, man, look, I'm sorry. I promise you. But hey, I want to add something to what you're saying. When it comes time to voting, people need to stop all this voter registration crap. When you look at the numbers, Mississippi got more registered voters already.
Come on.
All we got to do is start knocking on doors and finding the people and then making it happen, man. This crap that these bootleg leaders be talking about, voter registration, man, we sick of that junk. That's why the young people ain't wanting to vote now. There's no voter active, man, because the young people looking around and it's like, hey, what are the John Horns doing for me? They'll put that pipe on me.
Man, why would they go ahead and do that?
Why should we go vote, man? Why should we go vote? Why should we do all this social media bull junk just talking about, let's go vote. When you look around, man, that white boy get it every time before we get it. We sick of that crap, man.
I think folks gotta understand. Don't. This is not a show you tone your anger down. Understand, when you get to the end of saying something powerful on this show, we're not the other ones. When you get to the end of something powerful, we're going to tag it, stamp it, and we're probably going to recut it and re-show it and reflow it, brother. You talking about voter apathy, let me give you the definition. That refers to a lack of interest. Did y'all hear what the brother just said? I don't have an interest, John Horn, because you said I'm fickle and uneducated, and you don't do anything to help anybody in your city. I don't have an interest from a state level, because all of you black politicians continue to tell me that. Motivation. Voter apathy means no motivation. Why would you be motivated if for 30 years you put somebody in office over and over again and they keep telling you I can't do nothing because y'all won't vote? Or concern among eligible voters about participating in elections. So the voting apathy needs to be put on the doorstep of every one of our politicians. Hillman Frazier's hugging Cindy Hyde-Smith in posters. Why do you think a young black person watching would think, well, maybe I don't need to vote? John Horn's wife is getting kissed by Governor Tate. Maybe they won't. All right, you get the last line. Go ahead. We got some callers lining up.
I'm gonna give you one better than that. I'm gonna get off your mind. When took his tail in front of the city council
Have him hold on
and,
it.
and beat on his chest and said he's a downtown Jeffrey Pointer head slave. Him and Fraser was sitting his ducky ass in the closet, and he was sitting right there in the audience and didn't say nothing, man.
Ooh, keep us online, but you ain't never
Right
lied.
there in the audience and not say nothing, not to say anything. Sorry for being grammatically incorrect.
He was awake too.
It's trash, man.
Yep,
It's trash.
yep.
These
Hey,
are the people-
keep that feeling, brother. We got it lined up. But keep that feeling. Everything you said is 100% correct. And let me tell you something. That last brother, we're going to unpack what he just said in a minute. Him and Fraser was awake too. I was there.
We're gonna make sense call you on there.
Okay, you talked about our black churches. If we're waiting for our ministers to say something, we might as well just be quiet ourselves. Because they're not telling their people anything. I heard
Not
one
God's.
minister say-
Oh, my God. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
I heard one minister say in his text, who's going to tell them? And I said to myself, you're right. Who's going to tell our children? Who's going to tell our people what's going on? If they don't listen to 90.1, if they don't read the paper, look at the news, who will tell them? So whoever they are listening to is not telling them correct information.
Thank you
So
so
who's
much.
going to tell them?
That's right.
That's a good question.
That's a great
And I
question.
wanted to go to him and shake his hand and say, you're right, brother, who's going to tell him? It might have to be you.
I'm sure here to do it.
I appreciate what you all be saying on the radio to wake our people up, the ones that do listen to you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a wake-up call. You all have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. You do the same, my sister. We appreciate you more than you know. And we got to break down what she said. They in there.
We're gonna make sense call you on there.
Yeah, I was the dude talking about voter apathy. You got to understand that the system is designed like, yeah, these people ain't doing what you want them to do. They're not for prosperity. The system is designed to put their ASSESs out of office. You go vote to get them out of office, not to let them sit there for 30 years. That's what you gonna do. You find a candidate and get behind them somebody who will actually do something.
There you go.
But to have a belief that, oh, they ain't doing nothing, so I ain't gonna participate, it only make it worse on you because the system is designed for people to participate. And when the less you participate, the more you help the status quo.
That's
Jimmy
true.
Hyde Smith keep winning because not enough black folks get out to go vote against her.
No. And let me say this, brother. I'm going to pause you because I want to talk about that a little more. You're absolutely right there. Well, we got to realize that you are powerful. Your voice is powerful. That voice is needed. And what that voice can't do is assume that the information you have, all of our people have. So I agree with you 1,000%. We just have, those of us that are privileged enough to be informed, have to make sure that the rest of us, the masses, and that's who we deal with a lot here, right? When we go out into the community, we talk to people, and you'll be surprised at what they don't know. So I agree with you 1,000,000%. It's on us to ensure that that information is trickling down. I'm going to give you the last word, my brother.
All right, so I'm trickling it down right now.
There we
Your
go.
vote is power.
I love that. He said, I'm trickling it down right now.
And I'll tell you a story. My supervisor in Rankin County, he won by one vote.
Yep.
One vote. I knew 9 black people I told to go vote in the election that didn't go vote, and they could have determined who it was.
Why didn't they vote?
He won by
Why didn't they vote? I'm going to tell you one thing about our platform here. This is a little bit different, my brother. I absolutely love everything that you're saying, my brother. And I'm going to tell you I love that. And I think you have a great show, too. But you done reached a different panel here, and I think you're talking real stuff. We don't want to talk about the end. What we don't do is come into a fight in the 12th round and watch someone getting hit and say we want to talk about that hit. You are right. You are accurate that more black votes could have won it. But we don't start with the fifth landing. So why are black people in that Rankin area not voting? Why do you think they're not voting? We know that they need to. We got that part. Now give us a little bit of why.
I'm gonna tell you right now, because there's this stigma that, oh, I'm not voting Republican.
No, hold tight. But listen to the question. Hold on, my brother. Hold on, because I got callers behind you. Hold tight. What I need you to answer is not in terms of anything that's out there. I need you to answer only in this case with what the leaders are doing and how it affects whether they want to vote or not. Just that you gave them their part, and I agree with you. They need to vote. We beat up on them. Now give me a reason based on their leaders' performance, because if you can only tell me about poor black people's performance, but you can't tell me about the leaders' performance.
This is the reason why. Because don't know Democrats be on the ballot, so they don't go vote.
No, sir, but I'm asking you, I'm going to give you one more shot because we got folks lined up behind you. Can you tell me, based on what the leaders that have won have done, Why would they not want to vote? Are you just saying that they don't believe there's just Republicans there? They're not informed?
They don't understand.
Okay.
And there's this stigma that they should not
Okay.
vote Republican.
Got you. No, you're
There's a stigma with it.
Okay, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. 100% correct. Okay, I'm gonna take one more. Thank you, brother. 100% correct. And I'm gonna unpack that after this call.
What would make sense, Carl? You in there?
You must have.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? What would make sense?
Hey, my brothers, how y'all doing today?
You're doing excellent, my sister. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. This is my kind of show today. I want to say this right here. Councilwoman Tina Clay, she holding it down. She been holding it down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
She let us know that there was nothing wrong with that budget when John Horn administration came in office.
She said
they tried
that
to
too.
confuse us, and then WLBT came right along and told us that John Horn administration had been talking with those folks about putting a data center over there.
Yep.
So they trying to confuse us, and they want to have us all confused and thinking that it was something going on with the money. But Tina Clay said, hold on. It wasn't nothing wrong with that budget. We already knew what was going on.
That's right.
I am so glad that she came on and said that. And to go back to the brother was talking about the black churches, I've been saying for a long time, the black churches in our community, the churches in our community have been pimping the black folks for a long time. And it's time that we wake up and we realize that. You will see these pastors and preachers drive up in a Mercedes-Benz, going to their church, hint, Jerry Young going to the church house in his Mercedes-Benz and passing these kids walking to the church. You see what I'm saying? And won't even offer the time.
How you a man in a cloth doing that?
And looking for the mama to pay them and to pay the time. You see what I'm saying? And these folks have been pimping us for a long time.
Man,
It's time
speak,
to wake
sister.
up. I'm not saying
It's not everyone.
The church.
That's right.
I'm just saying, just wake up and see what these folks doing to us.
That's
and
right.
about us, we gonna always stay behind.
That's
if
right.
we don't wake up. And it's time that we wake up, and we need radio shows like this right here to keep us abreast about what's going on because they've been blindsiding us for a long time. But I would never thought.
Don't you ever stop.
And going back to WLBT, I would never thought WLBT would have come out and made that statement and that announcement to us about John Horn administration, because I really did thought that they were for John Horn administration. And going back to Ronnie Cruz, let's go back to Ronnie Cruz and tell him that he done packed up and moved to Rankin County. See, he done got a church over there by the airport. They done put him on the airport board over there, so he got a vested interest in Rankin County, not in Hines County, not in Jackson. So we need to wake up and look at these folks. We don't need nobody like Ronnie Cruz trying to tell us what to do. And Lord, not John Horn, because John Horn been against us for a long time. And now it's just coming to light. I'm a hanger, but I'm listening, my brother. Y'all keep it up, and I love y'all.
We appreciate you. We love you too, my sister. Let's take this last call. Let them know we got 1 minute.
We love you too, my sister.
What would make sense, Carl?
My bad. We missed them. Tell them to call back in to have them on hold. It was anonymous and it was an echo. I didn't like it. I ain't gonna lie. Bring back in. Call back in, caller. My bad. It was a reaction, caller. You was anonymous and you had an echo. And I felt like it was the police. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Caller, call back in, please. It was a flick. I don't hang up on nobody. I let you come in anonymous or not. And I just that echo at the same time. I was like, click. Call back, please. And we're gonna land this shit. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I keep it a stack with y'all. I don't hang up on people. That time I just didn't like it. It was too many things happening at once. And you know how your cell phone get an echo on it? A lot of stuff's happening to me and the young man and Mr. Wilson right now because we talk this truth. So excuse us. Yeah. That wasn't even that. I'm trying, and stay with us. I was trying to let Anonymous back in. But we got to talk. We got time. It's 4:47. And when you call back, we'll bring you on. This is a powerful day, sleeping giant. This is a sleeping giant day.
Yep.
You know?
The people
you're not attacking the people. You're attacking the system. And you have a religious leader, imam, preacher, rabbi, I don't care, walking by homeless children every day. Do you know that every biblical story, everyone you love, if you're talking about Jesus, if you're talking about Muhammad, if you're talking about Moses, I touch on every book. Where do you see the apostles, the hadiths? Where do you see people acting like this? In Islam, someone peed on the Prophet Muhammad, the one that's looked up at the highest. The woman peed on him. Threw trash on him every day, I'm sorry. And a man got drunk and peed in the mosque, and he was like, hey, hold on a second, man. Jesus went to prostitutes. And you got pastors and bishops stepping on people like, move out the way, Negro. God dang it. Why is he in front of my church? Go on and pull a Freedom of Information Act and see how many churches have called the police on homeless people. My God. What God are you serving? If you call the police on someone homeless, what God do you serve? And you're going to try to have a business conversation with me. Well, you see the way it's working up insurance. Okay, that's the God you serve. Thank you for sharing that with me. That's the God. Just say it. I serve the God that's going to mess up my insurance, not the God that says I'm going to take care of everything. But on Sunday, you tell the people to give you their everything, and God's going to take care of it all. But when that homeless person in front of your church, you tell him he's going to mess up my insurance numbers. Call your pastor out. Not one man in cloth has spoken up about what Bishop Ronnie Pruitt has done. Now, we got more of a response when the baby was murdered by people on the street. I'm talking about street dudes. Got on radio, got on there and said, this got to stop, man. Who are these cowardly men? And I'm talking real. People from the street, these dudes got on air and started reaching out like, man, we got to do something, man. You got to turn yourself in. These pastors have not said one word since Bishop Crudup got up, did the Tootsie Roll up to the front of City Hall and said, hey, man, I don't care about none of that y'all talking about. I'm about this money, man. Reason's getting this moolah. Madison's getting this moolah. And King, you letting another Negro get this Bishop Crudup money? Mike F. style. No, you won't. 4-5, 4-5-6. Where the pastors at? Where the imams at? There's mosque here, right over here. I've been to it. Where are they at? They sure joining John Horn's collectives, but not one of them have filed. What God do you serve?
And God said, let there be data centers.
And God said, let there be. And on the eighth day, God said, let there be data centers. Bishop Crudup. Is this what you're teaching us next? You got some new spirituality we didn't know, some new scriptures you went overseas since you international now. You done went to Timbuktu, the original land, and you done got a new page. Hold on, calm down. God, there was a new page I didn't see. I just got it translated from Hebrew. And it said, let there be, that's right, it says data centers. This is what, and then Vernon Hartley, let's land on him. You thought we ended this. No sermon, Hartley. That brother that called in, I recognize his voice. I wanted him to call in. We don't have time now. Because Vernon Hartley blocked all calls on the show earlier. The nerve of this man. Ooh. On top of everything we said, let me tell you what your city council president did. And we're going to give, you know what? We're going to give an exception for a pastor in these last 5 minutes. If you're a pastor and you got courage, we're going to give an exception for you. If you got the courage to state your church name, my name is Tarek Abdul-Swab, this is Keon Perry. If you got the courage to state your church's name and call in and speak up, and it can't be Reverend Means, it can't be him. And I know nobody, you know why I'm saying that, because you always call in and speak up. It's got to be somebody else speak up about your church. If not, these sisters that have called in and said the church has been pimping us, your church may be pimping you. Your mosque may be pimping you. Because they get an open invitation for the next 7 minutes to call in and to say something on air. And they should have called in without being forced in. This is your king. Now people hold up their head. This is your pastor. This is your imam. They have not spoken about a peer of theirs, but let Bishop Crudup get caught in the back alley getting some type of sexual favor done. I bet you they'll speak up then, and I didn't say you did that, Bishop Crudup. I'm saying if that happened, I bet they'll let you get caught doing cocaine. They all had a lot to say about Barry, about Marion Barry when he got caught. They all had a lot to say when the woman got caught. They all spoke up. Well, yeah, well, you know what? But not one pastor has said anything, but they could come out and support John Horn. How many pastors have supported John Horn? How many imams have supported John Horn? I'll wait. Look, man, the phone call is coming from inside the house. That's why you can't get ahead. And you can get mad at me. You can wait till Sunday. You got a long time, that's 7 to 6 days, and then talk about me with somebody. Because don't nobody want to talk about it in Jackson because they all feeling the same thing. So you can wait till Sunday and go to your pastor and hope he smiles at you. Go to your imam, go to your rabbi, hope they smile at you, and hope that gives you the affirmation you need. But out here, folks are telling the truth about what's happening. So Vernon Hartley, after the whole city says, we don't want it, lined up in front of this man, black person after black California, black person after black person, this black person, a white pastor came up. Not that it matters that he's white, I'm just saying he was from outside the community. He came up. They didn't care. What did Vernon Hartley do? He brings on his show this morning 2 people to explain to us why we need data centers. One of them was from Alcorn State. The sister was from Alcorn. Listen, I be young. Y'all have to start to regulate yourself. Because all I know is, my wife once told me if an AKA is out and she's acting up and she's doing different things, you know. And my son told me if an alpha's out acting drunk or something, and they doing these things. And this is real. I'm not in a fraternity. They told me if they out doing that, then they can get reprimanded somehow. Golly, where are the rest of these people's parties at? So Hartley comes on the show, brings on the young lady that graduated with a science degree from Alcorn State. She comes on, and I mean, she's from Mississippi, so I would hope she would know that we fighting data centers like hell right now. I think it was Jennifer was her name. I'm gonna pull it up though. And then her and the Spanish gentleman next to her proceed with Vernon Hartley for 30 minutes to explain to us why we need data centers. When callers call in, one of the brothers from our show called in and asked him a question about our health. They got him off, didn't answer the question, and basically had the nerve to tell us that we're missing out on something if we don't actually jump on top of this data center. We reposted some of it. We reposted the link while it was happening, and go look at it. This is your council president. And black people everywhere are going to have to stop just running when these people call. Find out what the hell they're doing in that black city. It was one call, y'all, just for the record, and that call was from Hattiesburg, and it was a repeat call. He had called in before, and we didn't have time. Not one pastor has accepted that invitation. Not one imam has accepted that invitation to call in and to address their community on our platform. Platform that doesn't talk about people's sexual lives, doesn't talk about rumors, gossip. We just do newspaper articles. Not one.
We had a pastor come up here and ask us why we didn't like it something like that.
A pastor asks us that. God has sent everyone he possibly can to us to ask us to stop talking about things. And the reality is we are just not going to stop talking about things simply because you think we should stop talking about things. The people have a right to know, and that's what we stand on. So yeah, we got to be aware that right now, we need Stokes to show up. We have right now Tina Clay, who's standing strong. And God, you all got to give her a shout out, call her, email, just say, keep going, sister. Same way y'all come up to me and Kroger's in the store, do the same thing to her. Because you best believe them other 6 council members are like, why you got to mess everything up, Tina? They don't really know what they're talking about. They're not going to realize what we're doing to them. So give her a big up and tell her to keep going, because you got to encourage people, because it's hard to stand against stuff like that.
Yep.
Encourage her to keep going. Encourage Brian Grizzell to be more vocal. He's voting the right way. Encourage him to be more vocal. And get behind him. We're up right now up against an absent Stokes, and I just think we need to get him in that seat. And he'll vote the right way. That's my thought. I may be wrong. Let's get him in that seat and put the spotlight on him. And now he's got to vote the right way. Now let's merge over to what's left. Foot ain't going nowhere. If you think you can change Foot's mind, by all means, call me on the side, send me a DM, we'll talk about it. But we have Parkinson, Lashia Brown Thomas, and Vernon Hartley. And Vernon has put his foot on the gas.
He's doubling down.
He's doubling down, and we need to have a FOIA request. Did Vernon Hartley sign a non-disclosure agreement? Because he's acting like a rabid dog, like Governor Tate when it comes to these data centers. Did he sign a non-disclosure agreement? Did Lashia Brown Thomas sign a non-disclosure agreement? Did Mayor John Horn, he just swore under oath.
Yep, he better.
It don't matter whether Wingate's your friend or not, you put that under oath. That there was nothing happening before that, but when we, make it make sense, interviewed Robert Island as he rushed out, and we're going to close this. We interviewed Robert Island and said, Mr. Island, did Mayor Horn, Kevin Parkinson, Lashia Brown Thomas have any conversation with you or Sexum about this prior to you all deciding on Forest Avenue as a project? That man said this conversation is no longer productive. And we put that online, it's still online. Go look at that Robert Island interview, because we're the only non-journalists who covered it. So we're going to end the show with the way every single one of our callers, and today is your day. Y'all do not give me back my show. This is y'all's show. And you all claimed it and you all proved it. So now the detractors can recognize we've always been a show of the people. We just had enough, and people called in today and put that out there. So keep calling in, keep looking at the website. We're going to post what happened on Vernon Hartley's show, not because we're hogging it, because you need to know what your council president is saying. And we're going to keep posting what's happening. And you see the young man and I will be doing some public reports over the next 2 days. So we'll do some news specials. We'll bring you to where things are happening at, and we'll get back out in the field with a microphone that works 100% this time, guys. For my co-host,
Yeah,
shout out Mr. Wilson. I'm Tarek Abdul-Jawad. We love you, Jackson. We out. Keep standing up. Keep